Welcome everybody to my Minecraft Create Survival World. I have hit 500 days and I want to give you guys an update on what I've done so far, why I've done it, things like that. Give a little tour of what's happening. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, first thing I built was I started with this biodiesel farm. I wanted to use biodiesel to power blaze burners and different things there. Well, there we go. So what I did is I built this small farm here on a gantry system, and I'm using the crops, most of the seeds and the sweet berries for compost, and then the rootable or the fermentable vegetables for making the ethanol with the bone meal and sugar. And that's what this is for. I have it activated wirelessly with activators, so anytime this sweet berry, this onion, or this wheat over here changes states, then it will send the gantry carriage down, and harvest everything. Then secondly, I have the sugarcane farm. For the sugar, same setup, wirelessly with activators, observers. And then we have everything coming in here. And as you can see, we've got bone meal coming out. We've got fermentable vegetables coming out. And right here, we're using the seeds and we're making plant oil. Plant oil gets pumped into this tank here. The ethanol goes through the boiler, you can see here. Goes through the basin. And then into this tank. And then we mix up plant oil and the ethanol to make the biodiesel. I'm not running the biodiesel. Actually, no, I am. I changed that. I am running the biodiesel over here to this boiler. We're running at max speed. And I have that max power, and I have that charging alternators and charging these accumulators. These accumulators are powering different things around. This farm is powered by electric through two motors here. And as you can see there, it's a little self-sustaining system here. So that was the first thing that I built, along with what's inside here. Now, I went around as I was mining and found a bunch of zombie spawners. Pulled the zombie spawners in with the carry-on add-on. This is also powered by electricity. And I have this set up with fans on each side. Let me just get a little bit. With fans on each side blowing them into the center, and then going through a set of crushing wheels. What comes out, we get the rotten flesh as you saw there, and I'm trashing that into the lava, and then we're also getting XP nuggets. The XP nuggets would normally go onto this disenchanter here, but as of right now, our tank is full, and as you can see, I have 96 levels also. I don't use the zombie farm anymore. I have a much better way of getting XP now, and I'm flush with XP. I have it all over the place, tons of it. So I'm also pumping the biodiesel in here to not only make hyper XP, but to fuel some blaze enchanters. So I have these running on normal experience, like potato recovery, capacity, mending, things like that. And then I have the XP also pumped into this basin. This basin, when I add lapis and when you add glow ink sacs, that makes your hyper XP. Now I have the hyper XP tank here, and then that powers these blaze enchanters. And when we're getting that when they're fueled by hyper XP, we get an extra level. As you can see, we have power 6, fortune 4, unbreaking 4, efficiency 6, sweeping edge 4, and so on. Looting, sharpness, swift sneak, respiration, feather falling, and protection 5. So we have this all set up that way, kitted out real nice. As you can see, vein mining, silk touch on this one, unbreaking, efficiency, protection 5, swift sneak, unbreaking, thorns, and mending on my on the leggings there. Spent a lot of time in here and a lot of XP in here to get the books. And then we also have our nether portal in here. I think it kind of fits with the theme of what's going on with all the enchanting and the blaze burners and all that stuff. So these were the first two things that I built, really. Let me grab this XP. Okay. And as you can see, even at level 96, 8 XP nuggets, you could actually see it go up. So that was that's a lot of XP in there. All right. So that is our first setup. Now I built this whole area on top of. Here, I'll show you. On top of a very large lava lake. So I have infinite lava to this area. There we go. Got lucky, found this spot when I was mining underneath, and then I decided to use the. Of course. Why would it load? So we have infinite lava not only here. I was feeding that boiler for a while with that. Now let's go over to the second build I did. And this one has to do with food, restaurant. I want to build a restaurant, kind of a homage to my wife. She's a chef, so this part she actually enjoys. And this is powered via electricity from that boiler over there as well. So first thing we find here, I have a milking station. And that milking station is just pumped over here into the kitchen, per se. I haven't built the restaurant yet. That's one of my next builds. And then storage for the restaurant. We have our cooktops, pots, knives in the drawers, mixer with a basin, and then our deployers with depots. So for the farm, set up quite a large farm here. Running kelp just because I was used the kelp for so many belts and all that stuff, and I wanted a kelp farm, so I added it here. But we got rice, sugarcane, obviously, sweet berries. We got the beets, we got the potatoes, the wheat, carrots, cabbage, onions, and tomatoes. The tomatoes I had set up 3 tall. As you can see from this harvester here, it looks a little different than the single levels. But any of the ungrown tomatoes or the unripe tomatoes, the harvester was actually destroying the ropes. So I decided to go back down to 1 level. I get enough tomatoes to last me forever with this size of a farm. So, and being a single player. But here's all the harvesters. They're all on gantries. I'm considering making a change and moving the gantries underground, but that'll be a later deal. Everything is controlled wirelessly from the control center. You can see double tall for the sugarcane. Little different setups here for the kelp and the rice. Now, if you ever want to know about rice, I couldn't plant this for some reason in one deep water. I actually had to fill it up two blocks of water, plant them, and then get rid of the water. I'm not sure why that was. I don't know if there was a glitch in Farmer's Delight in this pack or something like that, but I was unable to do that. It took me it took me a little while. It was very frustrating, but we got that. Rice is all set up now. And then over here we have our processing center for all of the different crops. Do a few different things with them. I was deleting all the seeds, but I'm keeping the seeds for the chickens and whatnot. So here I am deleting rotten tomatoes. I am crushing here. I'm crushing splitting the wheat off and crushing some of it into wheat flour. I'm deleting poisonous potatoes here. This one here, I am actually taking sweet berries and bulk smoking them with a soul campfire for glowberries. So I'm getting a few glowberries out of that. And then here I am crushing the sugar cane into sugar. Here I'm crushing the rice pentacles into rice. And then the last section here, I am smoking the kelp to get dry kelp. And then that all works its way through the system and into the storage there, as you can see. I even have XP over here laying around. All right, so here's our control center. This controls the farm. And before we do that, actually, I apologize. Before we do that, I have set up a chicken farm, a duck farm, a cow farm, and a sheep farm. The no adult chickens and only one adult duck right now. That's fine. I'm still working on the pig farm. The pig's height has been toiling with me, but we'll get that. I'll figure that out. So let's go ahead and let's retrieve that duck. So we power this on. That turns off a clutch. And and that should have processed. Yep, there we go. We got some XP nuggets and we have duck. So that processed that duck from there. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get some adult or some ducks and chickens growing. So this is going to shoot out eggs into that compartment. Let's see if we can stock that up a little bit here. Now, I can automate this completely if I wanted to, but for how rarely I'm over here and how rarely I need to cook, doing a couple manual tasks is not a big deal. It's actually kind of fun. So, in my mind at least. Alright, so we threw some eggs. Hopefully we got some critters. Alright, so now let's go ahead and power on our gantries. That powers all the gantries across the fields here. And then each harvester has its own power. So let's still go ahead and send the tomato harvester, onions, cabbage, carrots, wheat, potatoes, beetroot, sweet berries, sugar cane, rice, and the kelp. And as you can see, those are starting to progress across the fields, doing what they need to do. There's another thing, I could use sequential gearboxes as well, but like I said, doing this manually is not a big deal. takes a moment, something to do, kind of a daily chore. If let's see there. All right, so now that everybody's across, I'm going to go ahead and send them back. But before they get sent back, I'll show you with the kelp here first. It's going to dump out everything it has first, and then head back. And now our kelp is smoking. So let's go ahead and send everybody back. And now we're going to start getting an influx of items into storage here. As you can see, we got the rice already, and the straw from the rice, dried kelp, sweet berries coming through. And that's all going to head into storage. Now that we have all our vegetables and whatnot in our storage, let's go ahead and make something. So we're going to use the sequence with the deployers here. Got bread. We're going to take a beef patty. We're going to give this one cabbage, this one tomato, and this one onions. I could do it with one deployer, but and then with that recipe, that gets us a hamburger. So everything right here, nice little kitchen, nice little setup. If we need milk, we got milk, whatnot. So this was the second little farm I created. I'm sure there's easier ways to do this. I'm probably going to say that a couple times, but if you have any ideas or any advice for me on this or the pig farm, especially the pig farm, I'm having trouble with that. Please let me know in the comments down below. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the latest project. And while I'm doing that, do me a favor, if you can, if you don't mind, I would do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, the whole bit. I would really appreciate it. I hear phantoms. Okay. I haven't been sleeping much on this because I've been using a lot of phantom rest. So and I have not set up a phantom farm yet. But for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and do that real faster. Okay. Alright, so this factory, this is my latest project. This project, once again, I'm over that lava lake. So for scale, I have these huge, full-size lava tanks. I mean, millions of buckets of lava. So, or mini buckets, thousands of buckets rather. I'm sorry. And then I have two boilers running, not max, and I'm hardly using any of the power here so far. So both level 9, I'm only using 5% of the stress, and we're running at 48 RPMs, obviously, level 9. I just started the exterior. I'm still figuring out the roof. That's next step. And I am using ore excavation, the ore excavation pack. So that is our ore excavation mod. So that's bringing in this for this farm here, and we'll touch base on this. I want to wait for a new train to come in so we can talk about that. So let's first start, of course, started with the cobble generator. The cobble generator, as you can see here, I have 2 rows of cobble getting created here, running into this system. Now I think it's 17 different items I have being created here. So we'll start off first. I've got crushing wheels. I have double crushing wheels here to get sand, single crushing wheel here to get gravel, and so on. So doubles again, singles again. So bring that sand and that gravel in here. I put these brackets here. That's going to make that fun. Okay, so you can see the sand. You can see clay. The sand's getting heated through with the lava. So we're making glass there. We're making bricks with the clay there. As you saw, got gravel just running straight through, sand running straight through. Sometimes I have some cobble and flint going into lava just because there's so much of it. Sand getting smoked with soul sand, with a soul campfire for soul sand here. I've got gravel getting washed for iron nuggets, and we're getting flint out of that. And then that soul sand comes through, and we're washing some of the soul sand for quartz and gold nuggets. And there goes some flint and some iron ingots. So we are getting some quartz, some gold nuggets out of this farm as well. See the clay, brick, glass going through there. And then I also have the cobble coming down here, getting washed and getting heated up into stone. And then some of the stone is getting split off and getting converted into smooth stone. So we're getting stone, smooth stone, cobble, all out of this factory as well. Plus, the smooth stone, or the cobble and the stone is getting split off. Sorry, the stone is getting split off. And we're also making black stone as well via these soul campfires. As you can see there, lots of different items coming through. And this is the end item vault. I have some gravel going to garbage. I have some gravel going over that direction to the ore processing, which we'll talk about here in a few moments. We also don't have any blackstone in here currently. So there's a couple other items that we haven't got any of yet. That's taking quite a while. I wonder what's going on there. Let's see. Going through without getting converted. Let's watch this process. Oh, okay, there we go. There's still there. Okay. What are you doing? It might just be a full stack. No, it's infested stone. Why is... Where did... Oh, that's strange. There we go. We have blackstone going again. Good thing we're doing this video. I don't know how... Interesting. Well, I'll have to keep an eye on that. So somehow stone got in there instead of cobble, and the soul campfire created infested stone. So I don't want silverfish running around, so we'll put that in the garbage. Alright, I built a little area on top of here, a little work area. I'm not sure if I'm keeping this or not yet. Just something to start filling in some of this space. Now the next thing put together was an andesite farm, because if you're already running creative, you know how much andesite that you use. So that was very important. So what I have from there, I have the quartz and cobble getting dropped off. As you can see, we have quite a bit. Quartz and cobble. Now, this farm has been kind of finicky in the past, but I recently made a change and I think it's better now. I have the mechanical crafters creating the diorite for us. As you can see there, quartz, cobble coming in the back and the top, and then the cobble and the diorite coming into this mixer, and this mixer mixing it up and creating the andesite. So real simple. I did have two tunnels here, trying to split it up, trying to synchronize everything, and it was actually causing a lot of issues. This has been running for now about 24 hours real time, and I could never get it to run that long without any issues before. So I think we may have fixed that problem. So that's nice. That's very nice. And we have a fair amount of andesite. Then I needed storage, so started building storage. We're using fabric, so storage drawers is not an option. So I had to expand a little bit and try to find one that we liked a lot. But this one's working out. The sophisticated storage is working out for us. After we built that, and I just found out that these shipping containers can also be used as storage. So vaults may be getting replaced with these shipping containers to kind of go with the flow a little bit better. I have our forklift turned off. That way we have some... He's just hanging out right now, our little guy. This is the best I could do with a forklift. I am no creative genius, so that's about all I could get. Looks like he's been loading everything. So what are we getting here? You can see we have lapis, diamonds. This is where I'm getting all my XP from now. Prismarine shards and crystals. What is it? Azurine, gunpowder, all sorts. Zinc, brass. That's the main thing here. This was the brass station, or the brass farm, but turning everything else into converting everything else is real nice. So we have diamonds and emeralds. I don't have an emerald chunk yet for the ore excavation, so I haven't found one of those yet, so I'm not producing any emeralds at this time. I haven't found a coal chunk either, so I'm not producing any coal through the ore excavation either. Then everything else, the copper, gold, iron, and zinc gets crushed with these crushing wheels. The zinc gets split off here, and here some of the zinc gets washed. Some of the crushed zinc gets washed, and that's going to give us... I'm going to go for it right now. The crushed zinc getting washed gives us zinc nuggets and gives us gunpowder. And we're also taking that zinc and we're making the azurine with gravel from the cobblestone farm and some water. So we're getting the azurine from that. Now from copper, we're making redstone and iron nuggets, or from the iron rather, I'm sorry. We're getting iron nuggets and redstone, and then we're actually mixing it with lava and gravel to get crimsite. Oh, here we go, perfect timing. We'll get to see the process in action here. So there we go, we got diamonds, lapis, zinc, all of our good stuff coming in there. Start crushing that up, cutting the diamonds. It's funny, zinc's always first. It always comes in this order. So there we go, XP nuggets, fair bit. Zinc gets split there and there, as we can see. A little bit of the azurine. And then zinc nuggets. Got a little gunpowder there. And then here, a copper came through, and we're getting, was that verinium, I believe? Copper came through, and we're getting viridium. With the copper, we also get clay. So we have clay being created in two different places with those copper nuggets. Gold is going to give us quartz, so we have some more quartz coming in. And then that's also going to give us ochre with the lava and the gravel. So we're getting a fair bit of the create blocks as well. So all the create blocks there coming in as well. Now the nuggets get split off, and as you can hear, the presses, and we press those into ingots. Ingots get split up. Some copper and some zinc go in, get mixed up for our brass, as you can see there. So some copper, we're splitting it up here. Some copper, some zinc, and some brass. Plus, we're getting iron and gold. And this is all from the ore excavation mod. Coming from chunks from that. So there we go. Now, additionally, I'm taking the lapis. And this was a later, I found out about this a little later, so this is a later addition, but I'm taking the lapis and smoking that on a skull campfire, and that's creating the prismarine shards and the prismarine crystals. So that's nice. Get some of that stuff from under the sea without having to do anything there. So 500 days, this is what I've been able to get done so far. Plus I have a train system going around to pick up all that stuff. I didn't steal those XP because I think that looks really cool right there. So I'm leaving that alone. That's my train track tunnel boring machine. So this is what we've gotten done so far. This was pretty neat too. When I was clearing this area out, I found a spawner. I believe it's a spider spawner. Yeah, spider spawner. Nope, another zombie spawner. Another zombie spawner there. Real high. But I left that one there because at this point I was already getting XP from that farm and don't really use the XP from the zombie farm anymore. Well, I want to thank you for coming along today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, any advice, anything like that, like I said, I'm a noob when it comes to create mod. So if you have any advice for me, any other ideas, this is kind of how my brain works when it comes to laying out the farms. So you may have a different setup. There's, infinite ways to do these, but yeah, if you have any comments or questions about them, please let me know in the comments. And do me a big favor. I'm just kind of getting started, and I want to share this experience with you guys. So do the YouTube stuff for me, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you have time and if you feel like it, I do appreciate everything. And as we all know, I'll see you in the next one. And dark side, best side.